Okay. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Alrighty. We are at marker 45 seconds. Alright. Welcome to the You've Got Mail podcast. So, this is a podcast in which we explore the world of letters, interesting stories, and overall kind of just examine the ways in which we forge and create connections through our words. I'm your host, Ashley Wilson. I am a third-year English major at Loyola University of Chicago. In today's episode, we're kind of diving into the intricacies of young love, confusions, misunderstandings, and unexpected notes. And before we dive in, I kind of want to take a moment to remind you guys that this podcast and community really thrives on your contributions. If you ever have a story, a question, or a letter you kind of want to share with us, please feel free to DM us or even send us something to the P.O. box that's also open for you guys to use. And with that being said, let's get into today's topic. And so today's story comes from us from a longtime listener. Her name is Evelina. She's 17 years old and a junior in high school. And Evelina is kind of facing a situation that's been really weighing on her mind, and she just wants our help. Here is what she shared. Her DM reads, "Hi everyone, I really need your help with something that's been weighing on my mind. I'm kind of freaking out right now, and I feel like I can't talk to anyone about it. So I thought of you all. So here's the deal. I've always admired this guy, and to keep some privacy, we'll call him O. He's a senior, the captain of the basketball team, and a fellow debate teammate. He's always been super charming, but I've never had the guts to say anything to him. I mean, he's way out of my league, right? Recently, I accidentally ended up wearing a debate team Leatherman jacket. My friends convinced me to take it because I forgot mine and it was cold and raining outside, so I thought that I could return it to him. I ended up bumping into him outside, and he saw me wearing the jacket. I was so embarrassed. I thought I looked completely ridiculous, and I could barely hold a conversation, so I ran away. Recently, I kind of decided that the next day I would write him a note explaining the situation and apologize for what happened. I placed the letter in the pocket of his jacket, which I folded up and left at his locker, and I walked away. But not before one of his teammates saw me. A day later, I found this note in my locker from O, and it completely threw me off. It was kind of intense and definitely made me question everything I thought I knew about him. I mean, he talks about wanting to meet up, and he seems really into me, but part of me is just confused. Did I give him the wrong impression? I don't have any older siblings to ask for advice, and I feel too embarrassed to talk to my parents or even my friends about this. So here I am, reaching out to my favorite podcast and close-knit community. Can you read the note for me? What do you think I should make of it? How should I approach the situation? Honestly, I'm just feeling so mixed up about the situation, and I really need your perspective. Thank you so much for listening." Okay, so first off, I want to thank you, Evelina, for trusting us with your story. I mean, it sounds like you're in a really confusing yet exciting moment in your life, and we're here to help you navigate it, okay? Okay, sorry about that, everyone. Just some technical difficulties that we're working out. So as I was saying, we're in this together, right? We're helping you navigate this as best as we can. So let's take a moment and read the note from Mo, which Evelina provided us with. Here's what the note says. "Hey Evelina, I just had to reach out after yesterday. Seeing you in my jacket was a surprise, and honestly, it caught my attention. I saw your note, and I get it. You were just trying to return it. We should talk. How about we meet in the debate room after school? Just us. I want to clear the air about everything, and I think it's important. I promise I'll make it worth your while. I couldn't help but notice how nervous you looked during the debate, but you always manage to pull it off, even when you're not feeling it. You've definitely got me wrapped around your little finger, and there's no way you don't know what you're doing. Don't tease me if you're not serious about this. There's something about you I can't shake, and we need to figure it out, just the two of us. Can't wait. Winky face. Oh. Oh my gosh, Evelina, that is quite the note. Ooh, Seems genuinely interested in you and kind of wants to have a real conversation about what's happening. But at the same time, there's just this weird presumptuous undertone to the note. And so when I was reading over the letter before the filming and I was making my pre-show notes, I immediately noted that we should proceed with caution. So let's unpack this together, and here are a few thoughts on how you can approach the situation, keeping in mind that it's perfectly normal to feel a bit lost, okay? So the first thing that I wrote down was acknowledge your feelings, okay? It's okay to feel nervous. This is a new and exciting experience. You're in high school. This is a very tumultuous time. You're figuring out who you are and figuring out the people around you. You're both getting to know the kind of person you want to be, right? And so just in general, embrace those butterflies. It could also just mean that something special is happening. So allow yourself some grace. Navigate this with time. Really sit and wallow in your feelings to get to understand where you're at, how you feel about the situation, how you feel about just give yourself some grace, okay, Evelina? The second thing that I wrote down was be honest and lighthearted, right? So when you meet again, this is just a suggestion in how you might want to approach the situation. You might want to start something casual about the jacket, right? So this can be an icebreaker to dispel any tension that may be surrounding the conversation. This allows both of you to easily access the conversation and really get across how you're feeling, right? What your intentions are, dispel any misconceptions that you may have about the other person. It just allows you guys to really have a fruitful conversation if you're both comfortable with approaching it, right? So make it easily accessible. Don't make it awkward, which I know is really difficult to do, especially given the situation, right? The third thing I wrote down was stay open-minded. And what I mean by this is that it seems like wants to clear the air and have a conversation, which could be a great opportunity. And so go into the conversation with an open heart. You may discover things about him that might surprise you. And given your reaction to the letter, it sounds like it gave you a completely different impression on who you thought he was. And you did say you've been admiring him from afar. So coming into the conversation with an open heart will allow yourself to make decisions on whether or not he's someone you want to continue being friends with, having a connection with, or deepening the connection with. You get to really know the person rather than just looking at him from afar. So that's kind of what I mean by stay open-minded, right? The fourth thing I wrote down, and if you're going to take anything from this podcast, I want it to be this, okay, Evelina? You can take this far beyond just high school, and I really, really want to emphasize this, and it's trust your instincts. If at any point that you feel unsure, do not hesitate to express that, okay? Communication is key, and being honest about your feelings is extremely important. And this will take you so far in life. Trusting your gut is the key thing in life, right? It can be a lifesaver at times. And if at any point throughout this process of talking to him that you feel uncomfortable or unsafe, maybe suggest that you hold the conversation in a more public space where there's other kids or adults around, and that can make you feel more comfortable and more safe about having a conversation with him, especially given some of the things that he wrote. I would probably choose to have the conversation in like the cafeteria, maybe during lunch, where there's obviously more people around, but also you're able to have like a small corner where you guys can talk. And lastly, what I wrote down is no pressure, right? So remember that this is just a conversation. There's no pressure to define anything right away. Enjoy getting to know him and see where this leads. So this is kind of tying into what I was saying before about it's okay if you choose not to be friends with him after this, after getting to know him better. You are constantly forging and breaking connections all throughout high school and then also into your adult life. So allowing yourself to understand that this isn't a forever thing. This isn't like a commitment that you're making, like, oh, now that I've started this, I have to see it through. Like, you can also do that, but it's completely fine to go your separate ways, right? You're growing, you're learning, you're becoming who you are, and that's okay. And like overall, I think, Evelina, that this is an opportunity, a huge, wonderful opportunity for you to grow and gain confidence in yourself, right? So you have the power to shape the story. You really do, okay? And with that being said, I kind of want to turn this over to our listeners, our audience, our fan base, and I want to ask you guys what you think about the situation. What do you think Evelina should do? We'd love to hear your advice and thoughts, so please feel free to drop your suggestions down in the comment box below or send us a DM. And Evelina, I want you to remember that you're not alone in this. Everyone goes through moments of uncertainty, especially considering matters that come to the heart. So take a deep breath, trust yourself, and just go for it, okay? And honestly, guys, that just wraps up our first episode of You've Got Mail, the podcast. So I want to thank everyone for listening, for joining us as we navigated Evelina's story together. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos upcoming, and reach out to us with your own letters and experiences. And until next time, everyone, take care of yourselves and keep sharing your stories. Bye, everyone. Thank you.